Let's bring in Army veteran and Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. He's author of a great book, Only the Strong, gives us a real perspective on what our foreign policy was and should be today. Tom, first off, your sense on today, Veterans Day. Instead of the Senator Tom Cotton, what about the veteran Tom Cotton?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on, and happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. This is a day when we remember their service and their sacrifice in defense of our nation. You know, one thing that really came home to me when I was researching and reading the material that I use for Only the Strong is sometimes the wars that we fought, especially since World War II, have seemed inconclusive, or maybe public opinion has soured on them. But every veteran who served in all of those wars deserves our deepest respect and gratitude and remembrance. You know, one thing I point out in Only the Strong is that over 2/3 of Vietnam veterans were volunteers like my father's. Even many of the conscripts did so willingly. They didn't resist. They didn't burn their draft cards. They went out and fought for their country at a time of need. Or consider the Battle of Mogadishu, which most Americans remember from the iconic book and movie Black Hawk Down. For those veterans that fought in Mogadishu on October 3rd and 4th, 1993, that was their D-Day. That was their Okinawa. So we should not only thank them for their service and sacrifice, but remember how heroic it was, even if it didn't have the strategic consequences of a battle like D-Day, even if it wasn't in a war that remains as universally popular as World War II.
Well, Senator, we're glad to have you on the program on this Veterans Day. We also want to ask you about the balance of power that continues in the Senate as we continue counting votes some 1 week after, anticipated to be 1 week after Tuesday of the midterm elections. You have Nevada, you have Arizona still counting votes, Senator. Georgia, we know, is going to go to a runoff. You know, I think I have to ask you when I look at this is how do we sit today in 2022 where some states, take for example Florida, with a population of 22 million, 21 million people, can give us election results, you know, oftentimes in a contested tight race, maybe not this year, but oftentimes in a contested tight race within a day. And then smaller states like Arizona and Nevada have us waiting a week, maybe more, to find out who won.
Yeah, well, it's mystifying. The people of Arizona and Nevada deserve a lot better than the electoral system the politicians in those states have delivered to them. In fact, our nation deserves better when you have the fate of power in Congress hanging in the balance. As you say, Florida, which has many millions of more people than those states, was able to count ballots all in one night. Arkansas, which is about the size of Nevada, we counted all of our ballots in one night. These states need to take a hard look at their election laws, just like Florida did 20 years ago. You know, after the 2000 presidential election, I think many leaders in Florida were embarrassed about what had happened. Democrats and Republicans together came together and they reformed their electoral system so you would have an efficient system that is confidence inspiring and gets results promptly. I hope that whoever wins these races for the State House in Arizona and Nevada will take a careful look at their system in the future and reform them so we can have election results on election night.
What does it say when you look at some of these race boards? In Arizona, you've got Mark Kelly and Blake Masters. And then in Nevada, you have Adam Laxalt, Catherine Cortez Masto. And then in Georgia, we've got that runoff. And it looks like Mark Kelly's ahead in Arizona. All the votes have not been counted. It looks like Adam Laxalt's ahead in Nevada. So that would be one Republican, one Democrat. And then in Georgia, we've got the runoff again. Can you believe this? This might determine the balance of power again in Georgia. What does it say to you when you look at these races and how close they are? The Democrats and the Republicans are neck and neck in so many states. We thought we were expecting a red wave. We didn't necessarily see that across the country. What do you make of that? Are we just completely divided?
Well, Ainsley, we're still counting ballots out west, and I'm hopeful that Adam Laxalt will hang on and give us our 50th seat. And I still think there's a chance for Blake Masters to come back as well and give us our 51st. As you say in Georgia, to borrow from Yogi Berra, it seems kind of like deja vu all over again. But I'm confident that Herschel Walker is going to win. All of your viewers can help him out by going to teamherschel.com and learning how they can pitch in. But as you say, Ainsley, we're a closely divided nation. And that's one reason why we work so hard in these campaigns to turn out the voters who share our views about America's future and what we all hold dear. We had some really great results all around the country. I mean, if you look at Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio's victories in Florida and the congressional candidates they helped win, or governors who delivered strongly strongly for their people, like Brian Kemp in Georgia and Kim Reynolds in Iowa, Mike DeWine in Ohio. They won big victories as well, even in places where the top of the ticket came up a little short. Lee Zeldin in New York, for instance, he ran a great campaign.
He was great.
He helped 4 different congressional candidates get across the finish line, which may be the difference in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
So I think if we look forward to the future, if Republicans are focused on accomplishments and success and delivering results for our people, then that's going to result in winning elections.
Mitch McConnell has gotten Brian Kemp to give the analytics and his door knocking and his lists and his methods and practices to Herschel Walker in his camp over the next few weeks. That should be a huge help. Meanwhile, which I don't think is helpful, is Donald Trump seems to be brawling with Governor Ron DeSantis, one of the superstars, one of the best governors in the country. And Donald Trump said this amongst a long missive on Truth Social. Ron DeSanctimonious is playing games. The fake news asked him if he's going to run for president, and he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking into the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's not really the right answer. What is the right answer?
Well, I think the right answer right now is that we're still in the midst of the 2022 election, Brian. We're still counting ballots out west. We have a lot more ballots to cast in in Georgia next month. Look, I decided not to be a candidate in 24, so I don't plan to be a pundit, but I will say that Ron DeSantis had a huge victory in Florida because for 4 years he had focused on effective governance and delivering positive change for the people of Florida. That's why he won such a huge victory. That's why so many people across America are voting with their feet by moving to Florida. That's what anyone thinking about running for president in 2024 should be focused on delivering results for our people.
Do you worry about this hurting the Georgia effort because you guys really blew it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I believe everyone should be in the boat rowing in the same direction for helping Herschel Walker. All your viewers, like I said, can go to teamherschel.com if they want to help out. There really doesn't need to be any kind of focus right now on 2024, in my opinion, because whoever runs and wins in 2024 is going to need a governing majority in the Congress. The way we start that over the next 4 weeks is to make sure that we elect Herschel Walker to represent the state of Georgia for the next 6 years. So I would encourage everyone just to focus on helping Herschel Walker win this election on December 6th.
Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much. It was great to see you.
Thank you all. Happy Veterans Day to everyone.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. Military officer, attorney, went to Harvard Law School, politician, serves our country in that way as well. So God bless you. Thank you.